Welcome back to another edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am 12 Kyle. And as you can see, my man Eclectic is back in the building with me. On this episode, what we're going to talk about is some of the greatest hip hop tours ever. We've got the lineups. We'll break those down. We'll talk about the artists involved and really just a little bit of everything. Now, this episode was so nice that we had to do it twice. So this is part one of a two-part episode. So after the break, what you will hear is Greatest Hip Hop Tours, part one with 12 Kyle and Eclectic on the 12 Kyle podcast. Let's get it.
Is that iced tea?
Nope, it's lemonade.
Is that iced tea?
Lemonade.
Iced tea.
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade. Read it.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
It's lemonade, man.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Welcome back. You see what it is. It's the 12 Kyle podcast. And I've got Eclectic in the building. E, what up, man?
What's up? What's up, world? I'm here. I'm live in the studio. I'm ready to talk hip hop. I'm with the 1-2 checker. Nothing else matters right now. How's life?
Oh man, all is well, man. I mean, hey, what could be better, man? We're here and we're talking hip hop. You can't ask for much more. And you know, we give the people what they want. So I wanted to get you on, man, because you and I, we go way back, but we also go back to an era of tours. And what I mean by that is, like, there was a time when certain hip hop acts would get together and tour around the country and around the nation. My first memory wasn't of a tour, actually even wasn't a hip hop tour, because you and I are old enough to remember when promoters were scared to book hip hop tours because they thought something violent would happen or people would get beat up and somebody get shot or something like that. My first memories go back to the Budweiser Superfest tour.
Yeah.
And on that tour, it was acts like Gladys Knight and the Pips, the Commodores. I'm trying to think, I don't think James Brown was ever on it. Confunction, Frankie Beverly and Maze, groups like that.
They had a whole bunch of them. I mean, I think they started in like 83, 82, 83, where you had, I mean, Lakeside and the OJ Confunction, M-Toomey,
Gap Band.
Oh man. Yeah, I think the first Budweiser Superfest was 82. Wow. And I think they went on through the 90s. But you know, as soon as 99 hit, nobody gives a fuck.
So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about some. I wrote down a list of what has been called. Now these aren't the ones that I personally picked or E personally picked, but just some of the I've got 10 here that have been called some of the greatest, and they're not in any particular order, some of the greatest hip hop tours ever. But before we get started, E, I got to ask you, were you ever able to go see a hip hop tour, particularly when you were young? I'm not talking necessarily like, you know, once you were old enough to know yourself, but like when you were younger, were you able to go to a hip hop tour?
No, I was not. I would just hear about them. I would read about them. I would, which, and the cool but sad thing about this is, everyone listen, let me take you back a little bit, because when you hear us talk about things that happened back in the day and things like this of tours and hip hop, it's something that the current generation, the generation before that, and the generation before that won't really understand. And this is what I'm trying to say. These tours were the first and only time you would actually be able to see these MCs or groups, period. Not just see them perform, see them, period. Because, depending on, I don't know which tours that he has, but depending on the tours, this was pre-video. They
Right.
didn't have music videos, or only Run DMC had a music video. And the other people you would never see. You like literally though, because back in the early 80s, even on the album covers, a lot of the MCs' faces weren't on it. You had no idea what they when Roxanne's Revenge came out, when Shantae rhymed, no one knew what she looked like unless you knew her. You just knew the voice. And the video came out a little bit later, but no one knew. No one knew what. Well, you knew what the Fat Boys looked like because they had a video, but you had to wait for the video. But these tours, you could see people, and the other thing is there was no, the social media thing didn't exist, and YouTube wasn't a thing, so it wasn't like, oh, it's them. I don't know what they look like. Let me go on YouTube and look at them. that wasn't a thing. And you could call in later on. You could call into the box and request a video. But
if you had the box,
and also if they had a video,
because they might not have a video.
Anyway, to put it in perspective, there is not, and this is going to be a future episode of one of our podcasts that we're going to talk about. There is no video for Lottie Dottie or the show. So
crazy when you think about it,
when you hear that song, you're like, oh, I need to see them. You cannot. We didn't see what Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick looked like until they got till they had solo deals.
Right.
And people still don't know which one is Chill Will and Barry B. But anyway, I'm sorry to take over, but
no.
Put the stuff in perspective.
That was perfect because it lays the groundwork for what we're about to talk about. Because one of the great things about this podcast is that even though you and I have a lot of experience as far as like our memories and everything and how much we love hip hop, much like you, I didn't get a chance to go to a tour.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I became an adult, or a young adult, where I actually got a chance to go check out a tour, the aforementioned Budweiser Superfest. I wanted to go, but my mom went and left my ass at home. So I wanted to see Confunction.
My devil went. And they come back with the little beer koozies.
Yeah.
With little
all kind of
joint.
Souvenirs and stuff. And I'm like,
T-shirts.
Man, yeah, you flaunt it. Oh, Patti LaBelle tore it down. Okay, I would have liked to have seen Patti.
Yeah.
So what I did was, like I said, I got a couple of tours down here. We're going to talk about them. We're going to give you guys our perspective of what we thought that tour could have been like and maybe who rocked it or whatever like that. So the first one that I have written down, again, these are in no particular order.
It's in no particular order. Also, please educate everyone that's listening that I am in the dark here.
Yes, he's clearly in the dark because I just texted him today and say, hey, you want to record tonight? He's like, yeah. And so here we are. He doesn't know. He's learning on the fly as you are. 1988.
Oh, you skipping a whole bunch of shit. Go ahead.
Yeah. Greatest year in hip hop. The Salt and Pepper Tour. Now, let me tell you who's on that tour, E. Heavy D and the Boys. DC's own EU. Go-Go Band, for those of you who don't know. Johnny Kemp. Full Force. Kid and Play. Rob Bass. And your mans, Keith Sweat. How do you think that tour was?
See, I would love to know who opened and who closed.
Take a guess. And I'm going to tell you to take a guess because, well, you know what? Tell me who you think should have opened, because unfortunately, I don't have any information about.
I was going to say, do you know?
No, I wish I did, man. The stuff that I looked up, I don't have any information that says who opened and who closed. I'm assuming that because it's called the Salt and Pepper tour. That Salt and Pepper was the closer, but
Oh yeah, they
maybe
had
not.
they had they had to close.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking,
So we got Keith Sweat, Heavy D and the Boys, EU, Johnny Kemp, Full Force, Kid and Play, and Rob Bass. And
Johnny Kemp definitely opened.
Yes.
No slight on him, but he only had one song.
Rest in peace.
He only had one song. So he
a
had
jam, though. A jam.
No, and what I'm saying is not only did he only have one song, but that's definitely going to get the party started.
Facts.
So you had that. Then actually I would take it back. EU. No. It was Johnny Kemp, and then because they didn't want to do EU, they had to bring EU as the cool down before Salt and Pepper come on, so they could do It's Your Thing, Shake Your Thing.
Okay.
So
that's a good point.
So okay, so then I'm working backwards. Salt and Pepper, the headliner. EU came out right with them. They didn't have their own set.
No. Not a go-go band, not in 88 having their own set at a hip hop concert. Maybe in DC or the DMV. Outside of that, probably not.
Yeah. So working backwards. Now the only thing though, you got to understand is also very important. They probably didn't have their own set, but what they did, and this I'm just guessing here. This is what they did. Salt and Pepper came out, did a couple of songs, went into Shake Your Thing, brought out EU, right? And then Salt and Pepper had to take a little break, change it to they push it outfits. And while they had a break, EU did the butt.
Okay. So, I feel it.
You see what I'm saying? Then after the butt went off, they said, thank you, everybody left. Salt and Pepper came back. All right.
Makes sense.
So, Salt and Pepper's a headliner. Before then, it was Keith Sweat because Keith Sweat stopped billing.
Right.
So, and then they mix, they go R&B, they go hip hop. So then, before then, who I got left? Heavy D and the Boys.
Heavy D, you got Johnny. Well, we said Johnny. You got Heavy D, you got Full Force, Kid and Play, and Rob Bass.
Okay. Rob Bass came after Johnny Kemp because he too, technically, not really, only had one song.
Right.
But he also could hit you with Joy and Pain.
Yes.
So then you had Heavy D and the Boys.
Okay. Kind of put them in the middle a little bit. Or do you go Heavy D and the Boys, or do you go Full Force?
You go Full Force. Full Force. Then you go Heavy D and the Boys. And then
Kid and Play.
No.
You put Kid and Play in front of Heavy D and the Boys.
No. So you got Keith Sweat, but Kid and Play is much like EU, where they didn't have a full set.
Okay.
So they coming out, they're gonna give you part of my. They're gonna give you a medley. They're gonna give you Part of My Way. They're gonna give you Part of Getting Funky, and then they're gonna kill you with Rolling with Kid and Play. And then they out.
Yes, indeed.
Because they're gonna be dancing with Salt and Pepper. That's what happened on that tour.
Gotcha. Okay, I like the way and again, folks, remember, he doesn't know, and it's not to trick him. He doesn't know what it is, so I'm just going down this list of tours that I wrote down. But that would have been especially in 1988, that would have been an incredible tour to see. And you probably could, to your point, you probably could mix them up if you wanted to put Heavy D before Keith Sweat, maybe, I don't know, but it's.
See, the thing is, if it's 1988, that should be the Keith Sweat show.
Well, you know what? You're right, because Big Time
by Heavy D and the Boys came out, what, 89?
Yeah.
So, okay. So 88. So Heavy D. So at this point, they probably got Mr. Big Stuff and maybe a B-side.
Mr. Big Stuff, Of Way Lovers in the House, Money Under Mount Vernon.
Okay.
And
so you got a couple of joints.
And to Slow It Down for the Ladies, Don't You Know?
Don't You Know? Right. Okay. So that was a great tour for 1988. Again, you got anybody listening knows that we refer to 1988 as it should be as the greatest year in hip hop.
Listen, go back and listen to the 1988 show. Listen to the 1988 Hip Hop Award show. You'll agree.
You'll agree, yeah. And there will be a 1988 R&B show because I was just looking at that the other day, and like it's great. Like you almost forget everything. 1988, in my opinion, is great.
It's the greatest year. Period.
It's the greatest musical year. Period.
I think it's just the greatest year.
You know, I at this point, just off the top, I can't disagree. Another tour. Now, this tour didn't feature as many acts. 1990 to 91.
Okay.
Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em tour. This tour featured.
Don't you mean please?
This tour featured MC Hammer, In Vogue, and Vanilla Ice. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of background, I know you guys, some of you youngsters are probably thinking, oh man, what is Hammer doing? 15 backup dancers, 12 singers, 7 musicians, 2 DJs, 8 security men, 3 valets, and a private Boeing 727 plane.
And
that's how Hammer
and that
rolls.
is how Kyle goes to work. Now let's talk about Hammer. What did Hammer have?
Minus 8 security men. Honestly, nobody ever saw a tour like this with that many people on stage. And I mean, I guess it's safe to say the lineup went Vanilla Ice, then In Vogue, then Hammer.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
so?
not. In Vogue 100% opened that show.
You would open up with In Vogue and not Vanilla Ice?
Vanilla Ice got more records and fans than In Vogue. There's no way In Vogue did not open that show.
Hey,
because think about this. Think about this. The type of music that Hammer made and Vanilla Ice made, what type of crowd is in that arena?
Okay.
Then those are not In Vogue fans.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
The people that want to hear
Point taken.
Can't Touch This and Ice Baby are not listening to Don't Go and giving them something he can feel. So they're gonna get them out of the way because so the people gonna pay, and the people that really mess with In Vogue and be like, oh shit, In Vogue, and then Vanilla Ice gonna come along. I guess we can go, real
right.
We good. Or they would use that as the bathroom break, the concession break.
Right. Good point.
And so then they can see Hammer dance and sweat it up.
Mm-hmm.
They 100%. And then the people that love Hammer and want to listen to Vanilla Ice, they know they can show up late.
Right.
In Vogue 100% open up that show.
You know what, folks? That's why I have him on here. I stand corrected. He's right. I'm wrong. You're right. Absolutely. In Vogue got on there, and as fine as oh my gosh, how fine they were in 90, 91. Come on, man. I would have been there in the front row. And,
Damn right.
It does say here that particular tour grossed $26.3 million from 138 shows. Damn, they were doing a lot of shows.
And guess what? They would have grossed that same amount if In Vogue wasn't on that show.
1,000%.
And I love In Vogue, and that's the only people on the bill that I want to see. But I'm being realistic here.
Come on, now, you'd have been there for Hammer.
They could have had Emmanuel Lewis and Gary Coleman on stage playing Nintendo. before Vanilla Ice
Oh,
and
shit.
Hammer came out and would have grossed the same amount of money.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that they in Vogue. They while they brought fans, yeah, that tour probably would have sold the same. All right, next. Oh Lord, next tour that I have on here. I'm sure in 1999, my friend Eclectic would
All
not
right,
have gone
I'm
to
out.
see this.
I'm out.
This was the Miss Education tour,
Oh Jesus!
and surprisingly, this tour started on time. This tour consisted of Ms. Lauryn Hill featuring them boys from Outkast. So it didn't say how much it sold, but obviously at this particular time in 1999,
Wait a minute, it was just out.
just those two, That was it. So I'm guessing Lauren did, her Fuji set. She did, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album. At that particular time, Outkast is 3 albums in, I think. So they've got their discography there to go with it. Personally, I would have gone to see this concert. I don't know. I want to say, I know why I didn't go. This concert was in 99. And if I'm not mistaken, it came to Atlanta the summer of 99. And we were pregnant with our first son. So I didn't go. And I'm sure Eclectic wouldn't have. Would you have gone? If you got a dope, fine ass chick to take you, would you have gone to the show?
Not even if I could sit on stage.
Imagine him sitting on stage while Lauryn Hill's performing
With the screw face.
So that was a great tour. It doesn't say how much this tour grossed, but it was a huge tour. The next tour that we have here, 1997 to 1998. That was the No Way Out tour. The people on this tour: Sean Puff Daddy Combs, we're gonna call him Puff, Lil' Kim, Mace, Busta Rhymes, Foxy Brown, 112, The Lox, Usher, Kid Capri, Lil C's, and Jay-Z. This one grossed 16 million. Didn't say how many shows they did, but they grossed 16 million. So, would you have gone to see this show? And then, if you have the lineup, who do you think opens up, and how would you set this lineup if it were you?
And
I can give it to you again if you need to.
Around this time, maybe I would have went to shop. To pull the curtain back, full disclosure, I don't like concerts. I don't like shows. Because people like you want to get up and dance. I don't dance. And then to start singing the song. I don't sing the song. I don't want to watch. I watch, but I don't like the atmosphere. I don't. And then if you don't get the right seats, you're watching the screen. I don't like it. I don't want it. Now, back then, depending, I would have went because everybody on the list I would want to see except for the 2 R&B motherfuckers.
Okay.
So, now this is
97, 98. Yeah.
So I'm guessing the way it goes down. I'm guessing Busta didn't have a set. I'm thinking.
What? Yeah.
I'm thinking Busta was just rhyming. He came in and did a quick where eyes can see, and did his verse from the Flavor Year remix.
Scenario.
Yeah, and then just bounce. This is pre. I want to say this is pre-Confessions.
Yes.
So yes, Usher probably opened.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
He probably opened. We know for a damn fact that C's is only there to do Crush on You. He's only there to do Crush on You.
Didn't C's have an album?
Yeah.
I've never heard it before.
Listen, everyone that's listening, including Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
The C's album is dope.
Stop. Are you serious?
The C's album.
I promise you, I've never heard. It just clicked in my head just now when I asked you. I had no idea he had an album.
The C's album probably has the worst album cover in the history of album covers.
Wasn't it like?
But
I can't remember.
The Wonderful World of Caesar Leo.
Just the title alone.
Listen, just a quick aside, all you guys listening. If you can put that album, if you lived the hip hop that came out in 96, 97, right when Big was big in, and then a little bit after he passed, all that shit that was going on around that time.
Mm-hmm.
If you lived it, you will enjoy the hell out of this album.
Okay.
This album has zero business being this good.
Wow.
It has no fucking business. And the last thing I'm going to tell you about, who's on his album? He has Busta Rhymes on the album. Puff is on the album. Redman's on the album. Kelly Price is on the album. Lil Kim's on the album. He has a Jay-Z feature. Total's on the album. 112 is on the album. It has no business being as good as it is.
Wow. Who knew?
No one. And if you look at that album cover, you will not want to listen to it. Anyway, we'll talk about that at a later date.
All right.
So Lil C's is only there to do "Crush on You" with Kim and his Players Anthem. Players Anthem first. So he doesn't have a joint. Jay-Z is obviously the co-headliner. He's coming out right before Puff.
Right before Puff, right.
He's coming out right before Puff. They would have that no other way. Foxy is, I'm guessing, is going to go Usher, Foxy, to keep her far away from Lil Kim. And I think it goes Usher, Foxy, fucking Busta does his little whatever he does. Locks.
Okay.
Locks do that. They're not gonna be out there for long.
No, not at all.
Then they're gonna mellow it out with 112.
Okay. I'm rocking.
Lil Kim and C is gonna do their little thing. Then Mace is gonna come out. Unless they then put Lil Kim and C's out there. Then Kim does her verse. Then Jay-Z does his verse that he did on her album, which brings out them. And then Mace doesn't really get a full set. He's a part of the Puff shit.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's how I'm. That's how I'm forming.
I'm rolling. No, that's actually pretty good. I think. And I think it goes without saying, Kid Capri probably starts it all off warming the crowd up. He's not.
Yeah, Kid Capri is the DJ, the host. Exactly. He's the one that's saying, "Yo, coming up next," and he's getting the crowd hyped while they taking the set down and getting the other people ready. He's scratching, doing all. That's what he's doing. Yeah, they're not even gonna let him do one verse off the Apollo.
None.
For anyone that remembers that song.
Yeah, I remember this tour. I remember this tour was pretty big. It was obviously coming on the heels of the death of Biggie and everything. I'm with you on that one, man. I think interesting. You said you speak about Kim and Foxy. A collaboration album. That probably should have happened, but never happened between the two of them.
They can still sell right now.
Yeah. Oh, no question. No question. Puff is definitely closing out the show, and he's probably closing it out with "I'll Be Missing You" at the time.
Ugh.
I know, right? The next tour that I have written down, 1999, and I know you'd be at this one. 1999's Hard Knock Life tour. Jay-Z featuring DMX, Redman, and Method Man. This is another one I missed. I really wish I'd gotten to see this one.
Well, we know how this one went. Anyone who saw what was it, backstage?
Backstage, yes, sir.
So we know how this went. I mean, and as far as the lineup went the way it should have based on what was going on. Personally, I would have enjoyed the openers the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have left.
Red and Meth open.
I could have left after Red and Meth personally. Controversial moment. And feel free to usher me out of the paint anytime you wish, everyone is listening. But
here you go.
DMX is just saying.
Oh, blasphemy.
Let me explain why I say that.
Go ahead.
Because DMX, which I really like. So I like the hits.
Mm-hmm.
I like the singles.
Mm-hmm.
Get At Me Dog is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Stop Being Greedy is a monster. Niggas done started something that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going down? Love it. Now,
I love that song.
Rough Riders Anthem. No. See, here's the thing. Here's my thing with DMX. I can't listen to that a lot. Back to back to back to back. I can't look around. And when DMX was the shit to me was when he was the first or the last person on a feature, when you hit the hook and then you hit the ground. Oh, here comes DMX. He's about to kill it. Oh, here he comes. But a whole song, I can't. What was the Love for Me? Shut up. And so, but this is the same thing that I felt for Busta Rhymes after The Coming. The Coming, incredible piece of work.
Right.
But then he didn't rap like that anymore after that album. And I can't just listen to him. I can't just sit and be like, all right, next song. My ears will bleed. But DMX, who, including this Hard Knock Life tour, was bigger than Jay-Z.
He was.
Jay-Z, only reason why Jay-Z headlined this thing was because his name was Jay-Z.
And you know what, to be honest, there were some shows, quite a few shows where Jay-Z was the headline, but he did not close out the show.
Because they knew. No, listen, DMX was a whirlwind. But see, here's my other thing. And then I'm going to shut up about DMX.
Mm-hmm.
After, because he dropped those two albums in the same year.
Same year.
After that, he had like 3 dope songs.
You will not besmirch Earl Simmons in my presence.
He had what these bitches want.
I didn't like that.
I'm telling you what he had. We don't have to like him because he had Party Up. I don't like that song.
Right. Fair enough.
What's My Name?
Yes.
And Who We Be? I like that song.
Yes. Get It On the Floor. Come on now.
Absolutely not.
I get it.
I will leave that where it is. I am not. Get away from the floor. I guess an X gonna give it to you. I don't like that song.
Yeah.
I don't like that song.
Yeah. So but I think I'm pretty sure, like I said, in 1999, you're going to this concert, even if you leave after the opening act, which was Red and Meth. I'm gonna tell
another thing real quick.
No, go ahead.
I find it disrespectful and borderline a crime that the average person cannot find or view backstage.
You know
backstage
what?
And the show.
Yeah.
If you didn't see them when they came out, it's gonna be hard for you to watch them.
You know what? I'm fortunate because I have both of them on DVD.
I got them too. It's just I
don't have a DVD player anymore, but
well, see, that's what I was about to say. I ripped them, so I can stream them. I have the actual video. I can just watch it on my TV or on a computer or on my phone because I ripped the Blu-ray the DVD to my computer.
Okay,
but the average person can't see my man getting teased because Blinky Blink beat him up. I'm just Oh, when it was shitting on DJ Clue.
Yeah, oh, man, they did Clue so bad, man.
Fucking Beanie Siegel going around snuffing people.
That was hilarious.
Anyway.
It was like you said that movie and the show. Yeah, they're not on streaming services. You won't find them on YouTube. Like you said, if you don't have them, and if you haven't seen the Hard Knock Live show backstage, you'll probably never see it. I don't know, unless you go to Jay-Z's house. Like, I don't know how you can get your hands on it. And it's funny you mentioned that because it wasn't until maybe about a year ago I was like, you know what, man, I want to watch it. And I have the DVDs, but I don't have a DVD player. So I was like, let me see. And I was like, let me just find it.
You got a Xbox or a PlayStation there. There you go. Boom.
Oh.
Aha.
I didn't even think about that.
See?
Okay. So there you go, folks. You learn something new every single day. This tour in particular grossed $18 million, which in 1999 was a lot of money. And Jay-Z talked about it. He talked about how he couldn't come on after DMX.
My fondest memory of DMX is he improved my stage show. So X is about to go on, and I'm like, I want to see. I got like
X is before you.
X is going before me. The lights are up. He goes. And now the arena's shaking. And I'm like, this is cool. And it's and then he goes. And the fucking arena goes. First of all, it's deafening. I'm like, oh shit. He's running back and forth. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here he goes, 1, 2. And I'm like, shit. This is halfway through. Now first the guys are going crazy. Now the girls are going crazy. And then he gets to the end and he starts a prayer. And now they're crying. Yeah. The whole arena is crying. They're like, hey, now you go.
I mean, it is what it is. He was just like, the dude was killing it. He was just killing it.
Because as much as Kyle loves Jay-Z, the fact of the matter is he's not a performer.
And I've seen Jay-Z in concert. You're not like, you're there for the songs,
right?
But as far as like the experience, like it doesn't like overwhelm you or blow you away. Like we mentioned, and obviously they're not the same type of performance, but you would get more from Hammer in his concert than you would from Jay-Z in his concert. And I know they're two different shows.
Well, you get more from Red and Meth.
So much energy between Red and Meth. I mean, he's not a big fan of DMX, performing, but DMX show as well.
Definitely DMX.
Yeah,
I didn't
DMX.
even want to. I didn't even want to mention that. I mean, we put it like this: you'd be hard pressed to see Jay-Z sweat,
right,
when he performs.
Never.
Mace is going to give you a better show.
Wow, I agree.
Because Mace is going to dance. He's going to do some shit. Nah. I mean, now Jay-Z is going to have the more popular songs than all of them, but he's not going to give you a better show than shit. Kim might give you a better show.
Oh man. So the next tour I have, 1988.
Time to set them straight.
Bring the Noise tour. Public Enemy, Ice-T, Eazy-E, NWA, and Eric and Parrish Millennium Ducats, EPMD. Man, listen, that is a tour that I didn't get a chance to see. I would have loved to have seen, if for no other reason, just to see Public Enemy.
Well, see, you know what I'm gonna say.
Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
I just want to see EPMD.
Right.
It is criminal how overlooked and underrated EPMD is. But this one's easy. Ice-T clearly opened.
Oh, no question.
Then they had EPMD.
Mm-hmm.
And then NWA, Eazy-E, they together. And then Public Enemy brought it home. That is incredible. But this is also back when you could have this type of thing, because on the outside, this is 2 West Coast acts and 2 East Coast acts. And they don't sound similar in no way.
At all.
Even the 2 West Coast acts don't sound the same. The 2 West Coast acts don't sound the same. The 2 East Coast acts don't sound the same.
Nope.
So all together, you were getting your money's worth, and you, depending on what side of the fence you're on or you like, because back then, say in 88, everyone that's listening, in 88, everyone liked everything.
Oh, no question.
And that's why people could tour like this, because everybody went, no, that's dope. All right, let's go get this money.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, well, they beefing with them. They don't really like them. Or their fans is not going to be mixing well with their fans.
Not even close.
It's the show. And we want to hear all of this. So the only thing that could have, even if you put like LL in it.
Oh, hold on. We still got we got more to go. We still got more to go
with this lineup. I don't know what else you could do.
You are one step ahead of me, because the next tour that we're going to talk about, the Nitro World Tour from 1989 to 1990. Of course you do. That's why I said hold your horses. But for those who don't know, on this tour, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Eazy-E and NWA, Big Daddy Kane, Too Short, EPMD, Slick Rick, De La Soul, and Special Ed. Bruh, there's no way that I could have gone to this. If I had gone to this show, I might have just passed out.
Yeah.
This was everything. This was the tour that, I mean, and don't get me wrong, everybody, all the tours that I've mentioned so far are tours that I would have wanted to have seen. But this one right here, 89, 90. And again, go ahead.
And everybody listen to this. The cool thing about these tours was you would have your core members of the tour, and then depending on where the tour stopped, you get special guests. So, like Too Short, if you're going to see it in Atlanta, you're not gonna get Too Short. But when they hit Oakland, Too Short will come out, and you don't know, or that's on that poster. But then when they go to Texas, then all of a sudden the Ghetto Boys is, special guest. It's crazy. But to have, so you got LL, so then when you have LL and EPMD, you're gonna get Rampage, and then you got Public Enemy and EPMD. You got Slick, De La Soul. When I tell you that you get your money's worth, and you can hear so many different styles and get so many different experiences. Like when we were talking about a performance, LL's going to give you a performance.
Right.
Public Enemy is going to give you a performance just on the strength of Flav.
Facts.
Then Kane is going to give you a performance that's totally different from those two.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to be dancing and slip sliding. And then EPMD is just, they're not going to give you a super performance except for their background dancers. They're just going to give you straight B-boy walking across the stage. But the songs are so dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Same thing with De La Soul. De La Soul got some dances, but you're going to hear music that don't sound like anything else that came before it or next up.
Right.
Oh, man. It's Special Ed. Special Ed
on,
definitely opened, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to ask you how is this line? Because I'm interested to hear. And if you need to write it down. But I know you're pretty familiar with, because I think you posted this on your Instagram or
the poster.
Yeah, the poster. LL. So again, we got LL featuring Public Enemy, Eazy-E and NWA, Big Daddy Kane, Too Short, EPMD, Slick Rick, De La Soul, and Special Ed.
Special Ed definitely opened.
Yes. The Magnificent.
Yeah. With the sensational style. And so then, matter of fact, I'm going to take it back. Well, it depends. It depends on where they are. Because if they're in Cali, Too Short opened. If they're not in Cali, Special Ed opened.
Smart. I agree.
So, either way you cut it. Now I got to work backwards. LL obviously is ending the joint.
Oh, no question. He's the headliner.
And then they probably will let EPMD get a couple of songs off just so they can dial in the Rampage. Because they're going to have to do Rampage, but they're not going to bring LL out before.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? So they got to, either they were going to do, EPMD was going to go early, then when LL come out, he brings them back out, but that wouldn't make sense because they already performed. They're probably ready to chill back in the backstage. So I'm going to say, and because of so many people on here, EPMD is probably only getting like 2 songs. They're probably only getting like 2. They're probably getting You Got to Chill off and a medley of You're a Customer and Strictly Business. Boom, hit Rampage. LL come out and EPMD disappears.
Okay.
So before then, so that would be like the built-in cool down. So then Public Enemy would be kind of the co-headliner. And then Slick Rick before them. De La Soul is going after the opener.
Okay.
De La Soul's going after the opener. So whether it's Special Ed or Too Short,
right.
Then De La Soul's coming out, and then whoever the other one is, because De La Soul, they probably only give De La Soul. They're gonna get Me, Myself, and I out, and they don't have anybody else to do Buddy or anything. So they're probably just gonna get Me, Myself, and I out. Maybe a quick medley of Powers and Malone plug tune in. They out. They go. And so then Kane.
Yes, I agree.
And he's gonna get his shit off. He's gonna dance, Scoop Scrap gonna pick him up. Easy and NWA right there in the middle, so they can do some shit and get the fuck on before they get arrested.
And they might.
Yeah. That's how I see it happening. But okay. Man, what
did you have Slick Rick on that?
Yeah, Slick Rick is right before Kane.
Okay, gotcha. No, that makes sense. Because at the time Great Adventures was out.
Yeah, but see, you gotta see that, and see that's the thing. When you have so many acts, even though Great Adventures is Great Adventures, he's only getting Children's Story off.
Yeah,
and part of like Lottie Dottie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like so many people. You're gonna get a couple of joints off, and then hey everybody, thank you. Let's hear it one more time for it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing you got to keep in mind, folks, as you're listening to us talk about this, because particularly when you're talking about a show like this with a lot of acts, this might be a 2-hour show, maybe, depending on where they are and what the venue is and what the situation is. Because again, this was right around the time this particular concert tours 89 and 90. Promoters were just feeling comfortable enough to book rap tours. Like that wasn't something that wasn't automatic.
Yeah.
And it was certain venues that they couldn't play. They just they weren't they didn't know how people would react, which was crazy. But nobody got killed, nobody got hurt. None of that.
And these aren't the 5-hour festival days like you guys have now with if this particular tour was going on now, it would be LL's coming out later, but Special Ed and De La are on that stage, and then Slick Rick and Kane are on that stage, and then EPMD is coming out later, and then Eazy and NWA are on that stage, and then Public Enemy. They would be on different stages performing at the same time, and because what they would do, they would separate them out and say like, well, I really only fuck with the De La Soul type shit, so like, well, I'm just gonna go over there and watch them, and then I'm gonna bounce. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, these days it's like, no, we trying to get as much stuff off as we can. So
Thanks.
Unless you LL's gonna get about five songs, but everybody else, you're gonna do a medley, you're gonna do your hit, and you out.
Right. Yeah, that's important to know, because it's like, and it goes back to something you said earlier, like at least from what we know, there was not a lot of ego. Everybody appeared to get along pretty good. And, if you listen to like some of the acts that I've mentioned, these are repeated acts. So like they're constantly going on tour, so LL and Public Enemy might have been on tour for all we know, the better part of 2 or 3 years. So that there has to be some type of kinship or continuity or whatever. Like there ain't no beef, ain't no Eazy's from West Coast, we don't like him. It wasn't none of that stuff, man.
Yeah, like these people were friends. Like they it's a different type of kinship and fellowship that happen when you are in the beginning of hip hop. When hip hop was like, these people came up together, they were like, all the experiences are the same. So when you put them on a tour, they might have just met each other, but they're like, oh, this is great. Because now I'm with somebody, one, that I like listening to, because everybody used to listen to everybody too. And so
facts. Say that again. Say that again.
Like King T's Act the Fool song. It's a story. He's like the story, he's driving, and he put in his tape of Knee Deep by Parliament, and the tape messed up. He said it was an old tape anyway, there ain't no thing. Pulled it out and slapped in Dana Dane. So King T's on his debut album saying, man, I threw on Dana Dane, because they all listened to each other. They liked each other. Because think about it. These MCs and artists are still people. They're human. So when they're chilling or when they got people over, they're not just going to play them.
Right.
They want to hear what's dope, and they want to party and then listen to music too. So they listen to these people. And then when they listen, like, they're dope. And then you get to meet them and you hang out, and that's how things are, instead of fast forward to now where I don't even like that motherfucker. I don't even know him. Yeah, I don't even know him. I don't like him. I don't listen to his stuff. He ain't no good. I'm like, but you secretly got like all this shit. But you can't be seen liking shit. You can't even be seen doing anything that brings you joy anymore. You can't eat a hot dog. No
smiling. No more smiling.
You can't eat a banana. You can't smile. You can't do shit that brings you joy and let other people see it. Because people are like, oh man, look at this smiley motherfucker. Damn.
That's crazy.
I just won the lottery. So are you so happy about it? Like, all right, man, damn.
Right. these tours were great. And like, again, I mentioned earlier, I just wish that I had gotten a chance to see some of them.
This is a great place to put a bow on this particular episode of the 12 Kyle podcast. Yeah, I know. You don't want us to leave, but hey, like I said, this is part 1 of a 2-part episode. Be sure to come back next week for the concluding episode. That's going to do it for us. So for my man Eclectic, I'm your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5G.